Alright, so this is my video review of the Tonka Steel Classics crane. I'm not going to go over the size of it. You can see the size, the measurements on the page. But I do want to say it's called Steel Classics, but there's not that much metal involved in this. This part, this yellow piece here is metal. I think this is metal. This I think is metal. It's painted. It's a little hard to tell. This is plastic. This is plastic. The wheels are plastic. The handle here is plastic. All the inner workings here are plastic. The knob you turn to wind up the crane is plastic. I think this is metal, but it's painted, so it's hard to tell. But it sounds like metal. It sounds like metal, so I think it's metal. But there's a lot more plastic than I thought it'd be. Good move is this part is plastic though, so if your kid falls on it, he wouldn't impale himself and kill himself. But yeah, it's a little more plasticky than I wanted it to be. I seem to remember an older crane that Tonka used to make that was all metal. It was amazing. But there is a design flaw in this toy, and I'll go get into that right now. You see, this is the bar that raises the arm of the crane up and down. You know, you raise it up, you slide it in here, and it stays up, and then you want to raise it up further up, and you can, and it clicks in, which is nice. But it only does that because I modified the toy so it can do that. This point here, where it clicks in, you see how it's got that groove? I had to put that in there. It used to be perfectly smooth all the way across. And so what happens is my son would slide it into place and he'd play with it a little rough, and the arm would just slide out, and this piece would just slide out, and the crane would just collapse while he's in the middle of gameplay. And you know, it's not a big deal for an adult, but for 3-year-olds, having your game interrupted constantly because of that is very annoying. And he was losing his mind over it. So I just modified it now, so now it really snaps into place and holds its place, which is kind of cool. I like the size of it. The size is awesome. But I'll say this, the build quality for this piece is nothing like the Bulldozer. The Steel Classic Bulldozer, this one here, is amazing. This is all metal except for the black, and the black is hard plastic, and it needs to be, because if this blade was actually made of metal, it would scratch the floor like crazy. But this just feels so much more solid than this. This actually, I don't want to say it's rickety, but it feels rickety compared to this. And there's also a Bulldozer. Tonka made a Bulldozer that is all metal, and it's about as big as this, and that's awesome too. I think it's part of the Steel Classics line, but I've had it for so long I'm not really sure. So you can get the Bulldozer. That's awesome. Get the Bulldozer's awesome. The dump truck. Sorry, I'm gonna say dump truck is old. I'm not sure if that's part of the Steel Classics line, but that's older, and that's all metal. It's awesome. This is good, but it's not great. Little too much plastic. I paid like 50 some odd dollars for this, and I personally think I might have paid a little bit too much, but it was for Christmas and my son really wanted it, so I got it for him. But I do feel like with this design flaw here, get a Dremel and notch that out. Do it here also, and you'll be a lot happier. Just be aware that there's a little more plastic than you probably would like. All right, that's it.